Habari ya asubuhi wa Kenya na habari ya asubuhi Nick mzalendo, habari ya asubuhi. Angalia sauti yako.
Uko vipi?
Niko vizuri.
Hizi sauti bana, una tap. Ndio.
Hiyo ni ya dijitali ama ni analog?
Bana dijitali bana, analog tuliwachia wazee huko nyumbani bana. Sisi ni watu digital world, tunaenda na wakati.
Ndio mnasumbua na watu mjini mambo ya digital.
Lazima tusumbue juu usipokuwa updated utawachwa nyuma. Ushaambia tukapata kuna wazee pale hawezi tumia hawezi hata download WhatsApp ama message WhatsApp ama kusoma arafa ya WhatsApp ama kufungua tu hiyo WhatsApp. Kuifungua tu, kuiona, kuibonyeza hivi anaogopa, anakwambia nifungulie kaka bwana, hizi vitu sijui kulie. Hii simu inashikwa aje? Nimeshika saa zingine anashika simu upside down. So lazima kuwe informed sahi. Kuna vitu mingi zinaendelea duniani kiteknolojia, so uzisome, ukuwe updated, usiwachwe nyuma.
Okay, asante sana. Wiki iliyopita tu ama si wiki iliyopita, naweza sema kwamba hii wiki nilikuwa nasoma kitabu fulani cha Kiswahili. Na kitabu hiki kilikuwa kimeandika machozi ya samaki. Wakasema kwamba nilikuwa nimeandika hapa kilio cha samaki hakina machozi, na machozi ya samaki huenda na maji. Hapo ndio venye maandiko yalikuwa, kitabu ilikuwa inasema, kwa sababu uingia katika baharini ama uko katika ziwa, labda pale ziwa Victoria, kwa sababu wewe ni mwenyeji wa Homa Bay, labda unaishi karibu na ziwa Victoria, na kuna wale wavuvi ambao wanaenda pale kuvua samaki. So wakishavua samaki, wateke samaki wakuje, utapata kwamba samaki inakuangalia. Alafu wanasema kwamba samaki ikitoa machozi huwa inaenda na maji. So ikitoka kule nje huwezi ona machozi yake. Labda wewe unaweza itafsiri aje? Haya, unmute. Mzalendo, unmute.
Hebu rudia hiyo. Ati hebu rudia hiyo swali yako kidogo tu.
Okay. Wacha nirudie na nikwambie. Unajua katika baharini ama katika ziwa, tuseme kwa mfano ziwa la Victoria na bahari ya Hindi, kuna samaki. Kuna samaki aina mingi, kuna papa na nyangumi, hizo zote samaki. Lakini wanasema kuwa machozi ya samaki huwa inaenda na maji. Inamaanisha kuwa samaki wakilia ama wakitoa machozi, si rahisi sana wewe kujua kwamba samaki ilikuwa inalia, kwa sababu makao makuu yao ni maji. Sasa ile machozi yakitoka yanaenda na maji. Ukilinganisha na sisi binadamu, ambapo tukilia utaona mtiririko wa machozi zikipita katika macho zetu. Tutachukua labda kitambaa cheupe tupanguze nayo machozi. Labda venye watu leo walikuwa wanazika mwenda zake Ng'eno, unapata kwamba wale watu ambao waliguswa na msiba ama familia wake wa ndani walikuwa wanalia wakimpatia heshima zake za mwisho. Unaweza ona kwamba walikuwa wanatoa machozi, lakini ni tofauti na samaki ambao wanaishi baharini, ndani ya maji na ziwa. We labda ukiangalia hizo mfano mbili unatafsiri nini?
Mimi yani raundi hii umekuwa Mswahili kweli. Mimi kama vile mimi unaona hapa duniani ama anaweza sema mahali tunaishi ama ukienda ukikutana na watu tuseme marafiki mnane, mpo kwa kikundi hivi kila mtu ako na shida yake na machungu yake na kiko ndani yake, ndani ya moyo wake kwa ile environment ile yuko yani hauwezi iona hauwezi iona machungu ya brother Ben ama machungu ya mzalendo. So kama hiyo ya samaki unaiona, utaitayarisha, utaiandaa, lakini kilio chake kilikuwa kule zile vitu ambazo zimepitia zote ndio mpaka ukaiandaa sasa unaikula. Haiwezi sema. So binadamu pia wako hivyo. Machozi yetu hayaonekani. Otherwise ungekuwa unaona kila mtu akitembea akitembea analia, watatu wakitembea wanalia. Mungu angetuumba hivyo, yani machozi inaonekana. Mashida ni kama number plate ama billboard, unatembea hapa katika forward, then kila mtu angejua shida ya mtu mwingine ama kilio cha mtu mwingine. Nadhani siko mbali sana.
Yes, hauko mbali sana kwa sababu ukiangalia kwa undani zaidi unapata kuwa samaki wamo ndani ya maji, lakini wanapitia changamoto mingi sana, na unapata wakipitia changamoto, unapata kwamba wakilia, kwa sababu unapata kwamba maji labda imezidi machozi yao. Sisi wenyewe hatuwezi kujua kwamba samaki zilikuwa zinalia. Ni venye ulikuwa umesema, tunazitayarisha, tunaikula, tunasherekea kwamba samaki hiki ni tamu zaidi, na nakubaliana na hayo. Alafu labda kabla pia tujaenda katika mazungumzo tena, ni jambo pia tulizungumzia. Unapata katika maisha ambao sisi tunaishi kama binadamu, kuna vitu muhimu ambao ziko katika maisha yetu. Siku ya kuzaliwa ni muhimu kwa sababu unaleta furaha katika familia, na pia unapata watu wanaletea zawadi familia yako. Vile vile siku ambao unafunga ndoa ama unafanya harusi pia watu wanasherekea. La mwisho ni siku ambayo unapatiwa heshima zako za mwisho. Unapata kwamba hapo ndio unapata kwamba watu walii, machozi ambao wanatoa si machozi ya furaha, lakini machozi ya uchungu. Na unapata wakati ambapo machozi za uchungu zinatoka, unapata hapo ndio utapata kwamba unapatiwa sifa zako. Hata kama ulikuwa mbaya, utapata kwamba marafiki zako ama wale ambao walikuwa ni adui wako wakipatiwa nafasi, labda wanene jambo moja kukuhusu wewe, watakuwa wanatoa sifa nzuri yako kabisa. Wanasema jamaa huyu alikuwa ni jamaa mzuri zaidi. Lakini wakati ulikuwa na uhai wako na maisha yako, hamkukuwa mnaongea. Unadhani kwa nini sifa tu tunapatiana wale watu ambao wametuacha, ama wakati tunapatiana mtu heshima zake za mwisho, ilhali wakati alikuwa hai hatukukuwa tunampatia sifa zake hizo? Unadhani kwa nini?
Wanaitwa wafu. Unajua matanga ni kama vile umesema, ni sherehe ya mwisho. Watu wako na huzuni, lakini ni sherehe ya mwisho. So ni sherehe ya mwisho, ukianza kutoa malalamishi kuhusu mwenda zake juu ya swaa unataka ikusaidie kivipi? Unaona, tunaangalia hiyo matamshi yako itakusaidia kivipi, kwa sababu huyu jamaa naye ashaaga. Ona sasa ile sisi kama Waafrika, tamaduni zetu na mila zetu zinasema tukikuwa na matanga ni wakati kuomboleza na kusema yale mazuri ambayo mwenda zake alitenda. Yani tuna eulogize, tunakumbuka. Unaweza kumbuka kwa utani kwa umati, lakini huwezi sema kwa machungu. Waelewa?
Okay. Asante sana Mzalendo. Ni jambo ambalo labda naweza sema kwamba sisi binadamu, mi naweza sema kwamba tunaishi kwa uongo na uoga, kwa sababu tunajua labda mwenda zake haezi jitetea. Kwa sababu chukua mfano mbunge ambaye alizikwa jana, ni mbunge ambaye amepigania watu wake. Mara mingi ulikuwa unapata kwamba kuna watu ambao hawakuwa wanakubali na kauli yake aliyochukia kumpikia watu wake, wakasema venye yeye ni mbaya. Lakini cha kushangaza ni kwamba jana wakati alikuwa anapatiwa heshima zake, hakuna mtu ambaye alinena ubaya wake, ili hali watu walisema tu mazuri yake, na pia watu wakatoa mpaka hadi kwa familia yake, wakasema basi huyu kwa sababu alikuwa anapigania utasimamia familia yake.
Unajua brother Ben, pale kuna watoto, kuna mkeo, hao watoto wamewachwa mayatima. Unaenda pale unaanza kusema ubaya huyu mbele ya umati. Unataka kuonyesha nini? Ni nini hasa unataka kuonyesha? Na unaona ni kama mimi kwa maoni yangu si haki kwenda pale pawapo watu wako na matanga, wewe unaanza kuleta mambo mengine ambayo yahusiani na hiyo matanga. Umesema sahi haihusiani kabisa na matanga. So kuwa mtu amefiwa, mambo ambayo yahusiani na matanga yenyewe. Kama yahusiani kabisa, wachana nayo. Linda desturi na mila za Kiafrika.
Okay. Asante sana kwa hayo, lakini mimi bado ndakuwa na swali chungu nzima, hata kama tutakuwa tunalinda desturi za Afrika, mila na desturi za Afrika. Ni kwamba unajua, unapata kwamba saa zingine kuna mahali ambapo inafika tunakeuka ama tunaenda kinyume na mila zetu za Afrika, lakini pia kuna mahali tunasema lazima tuzilinde, lakini hilo litakuwa mazungumzo siku ingine ijayo.
Wacha hivi, mwacha mila ni mtumwa.
Lakini sisi ni watumwa wote, wakati sisi ni watumwa wote. Mimi najua kwamba sisi wote tumewacha mila zetu.
Tumewacha mila.
So sisi ni watumwa.
Sisi wote ni watumwa.
Okay, asante sana. Kabla tujaingia katika mada la leo, wacha nichukue nafasi hii kusalimia Paulo. Naona Austin Otieno, asante sana. Thank you so much Mzalendo for taking your time to be here with us this morning. It depends from where you're watching us. Some people are just about to go to bed. Some are just waking up, And Mzalendo, there's much that has taken place, especially in the political field or the political landscape, especially of our country, Kenya. We will start with the 10-point agenda. That is the big issue I think is coming on Tuesday, on 7th. That is going to be tomorrow, if I'm not wrong. That was the time when it is 1 year since the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga and President William Ruto signed an agreement. And this agreement was supposed to run for 1 year. Then from there, it was going to determine what is the next move for ODM. But this week, you had Gladys Wanga, that is the governor for Homa Bay, said that the 10-point agenda was not going to end. It was something that had no end. He had no finality. It is something that was meant to bring Kenyans together. So it has no end. And today Sifuna called a young girl who she was in I think she was in she's not yet in a high school, to define the word final, and she did. And Sifuna gave her around 5,000 for that. So there's so much that is going on. So maybe before we proceed, in your own view, do you think 1 year since the 10-point agenda was signed are they going to deliver it, or is there anything that you can point out that the 10-point agenda has achieved?
No, Ben. I don't know where to start all this, but you mentioned that there's a meeting that is scheduled this month, yeah?
Yeah, there's we call it the broad-based PG. That is what they said. I think it's going to be on 10th. The broad-based members of parliament, where the committee of Agnes Zani is going to give the report on what the 10-point agenda has achieved, and what they've not achieved, and what is the way forward from there.
Now, I think the meeting, remember, they were supposed to conduct an NDC. I don't know whether that is an NDC. I saw that thing, and every time I see this ODM memos, I tend not to look at them very, very keenly, because they are so empty. They have got nothing that will benefit the ordinary Kenyan. That is why I brush them off very, very fast. And when you look at the current crop of leaders that ODM has, starting from the top to the party leader himself, this is somebody who we hope, the ODM members hope at one point that he can vie and become the president of the Republic of Kenya. So these are a bunch of jokers. These are a group that is taking us for some kind of festival music. So it's like that game of musical chairs, where you dance, you put your butt in one side, then you dance around somebody else. They've been dancing around with the followers of ODM. The way they want, they can toss them the way they want. But look here, when you look at the art of the debate that they are going to have in the next few weeks, the main agenda is not the 10-point agenda. The main agenda is removing Edwin Sifuna as the Secretary General of ODM, and brushing off the 10-point agenda like it never existed. And this tells you that these are members of parliament who don't really care about their people. And as much as the government would want to assist the people who lost their lives in the skirmishes or in the demonstration, I mean, there was some goodwill on the other end. But if you don't have leaders who are pushing for this, and they are only pushing for their own agenda, then it becomes very, very difficult for the government to try and even attempt to implement such a thing. Now, look at what happened just a few days ago. It's yesterday, during Johana burial. William Ruto was very, very firm, very, very fast in rewarding the widow, rewarding everybody else who lost their compensating those who lost their lives. It was not caused by the government, but the government did something. But look at a situation where it is caused by the government and leaders are still playing around with the lives of those who are remaining, the children who are left behind, fatherless, motherless, and the leaders are joking with it. Gladys Wanga, Junet Mohammed are laughing with it, that the most important thing is to join the government to them. So it is absurd. It is a very, very sad situation in our country, and that is why we need to look at these leaders very, very carefully in 2027. The 10-point agenda must be on the ballot. You must know that this is something that was promised by the leadership, and it was never delivered.
But Mzalendo, maybe if we go back and we look at 10-point agenda and how we ended up having 10-point agenda, and you want to look at it keenly, do you think that even the idea or even the proposal that were put about 10-point agenda, there was an intention that they are going to achieve a particular objective, or it was a way of cooling down the temperatures, especially of the young people?
You see, the 10-point agenda was derived by Raila Odinga and his team.
Mm-hmm.
It was a reason for joining the government.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had got no reason of joining William Ruto's government. So they had to come up with a reason of why they joined the William Ruto's government, because William Ruto had promised them to implement some of these things, like the 10-point agenda. That is why we are joining the broad-based government.
Mm-hmm.
They had to have a reason. And that reason had to be tied with the demonstrations of the Gen Z, saying, okay, people lost their lives, there must be compensation. The things that really matter to us, like there was the cost of living. Yeah, the cost of living. There was the electoral reforms. There's governance and accountability. Then there was something called they called the national dialogue or something like that.
Conclave.
Whatever it is, which some of them, some things are practical, some things are impractical. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at the committee that was constituted to look upon the 10-point agenda, then you realize that this was not a serious committee at all. Who are the members of the committee? We had I don't know, this so good a guy,
Agnes Zani.
Agnes Zani, and who else?
There was also somebody from UDA.
Those are not serious Kenyans. Macau, whatever. Professor Macau was to oversee the implementation of the 10-point agenda. Anyway, even if you just look at the names, then you look you look at the names that were constituted in coming up with a committee that is going to look at the agenda. They have never had a press briefing. They have never told the Kenyans where they are with the report. Thing it is, we don't expect anything from them.
Okay, Mzalendo, thank you so much, and I also want to thank this opportunity to thank Goodia for joining us. Mzalendo, when we're looking at 10-point agenda, remember in the 10-point agenda we had NADCO report, and if we look at NADCO report, also had some addressing some challenges that Kenyans are going through. And one of the challenges, many of those challenges that were listed at the NADCO report, they were about electoral reform. Remember the electoral reform, a comprehensive audit of 2022 electoral processes, reconstructing the IEBC and increasing the timeline for resolving presidential election petition. That is one of the things that were in NADCO report. Then the cost of living, yeah, reducing government travel budgets by 50%, reviewing daily subsistence allowance, and lowering fuel levies. That was in the NADCO report. Then there was devolution, finalizing the transfer of devolved functions and ensuring equitable revenue sharing with county governments. Political stability. It was saying creating the office of the leader of the official opposition and the office of the prime minister. That was one of them. Anti-corruption, strengthening the transparency and accountability.
Okay, Ben.
Mm.
Can you just stop there?
Mm-hmm. Those
That
are
is
NADCO. That is, NADCO had like almost 10. Then we had
what I'm trying to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that you've read there,
Mm-hmm.
it requires the goodwill of the sitting government.
Mm-hmm.
It also requires the goodwill of the opposition. And
Mm-hmm.
the opposition are in government.
Mm-hmm.
The opposition who are pushing for this are half of it is in government. Half of it are pushing the presidential agenda. They are not pushing the people's agenda. They are not pushing anything called NADCO or anything called the 10-point agenda that they were supposed to implement before joining the government. They're not even pushing for that. What they are pushing for is power.
Tunataka power.
Yeah. So when people when they are pushing for power, they are not with the people. The people are with the issues that were raised that at least could compensate the victims. You know, you cannot compensate life, but you can give up something for the bereaved families, for the children who are still going to school and their father was shot dead. You can pay for them some school fees. Hiyo itakuwa ni afueni kwa wale watoto wale.
Sasa, let's say that we do the compensation. People, there are those who have also questioned about the compensation, as you say that it can inaweza patiana wale mafamilia afueni, lakini pia there are those who are asking that how can we compensate without justice? Is it just?
Listen, if you want to wait for the justice, that is part of the justice. Justice, well, those who are pushing for justice, they want somebody jailed, somebody accountable for everything that has happened. If the government up to today does not apologize to the people of Kenya for the atrocities that they caused, then that is we have a problem there. Now, if the wheels of justice, they don't turn very fast the way you might want them to turn. You might be pushing for that justice in the corridors of the law, but what happens? It will forever for any member of the or any bereaved family member to get even a coin as compensation. While we are pushing for them to get at least some money, and the compensation can be money, can be land, can be anything, can be houses that Ruto has built. He can give them houses, he can give them a home to live, and say that we cannot pay you for the life, but please, I know you are paying rent, but have this house. We are sorry as the government of Kenya. Chukua hii nyumba moja, ishi na watoto wako. Ona, ni makosa ilifanyika. We're going to do whatever we can so that we bring justice to this family. But for now, this is what we cannot give you. That is what the people want, and that could be the fairest settlement.
Let me bring you to ODM because when you look at the history of ODM and the people and the leadership of ODM, especially look at Baba, what he was fighting for, and especially when it comes to 10-point agenda. At what point did the leadership of ODM, or let's say that the likes of Wanga, Oburu Odinga, and all that, departed from fighting for the 10-point agenda to be actualized? Then they went to start bargaining for position. At what point did they have departure? And what could have informed that? Maybe it was not, 10-point agenda was not going to be actualized, so they decided to go for positions.
They didn't decide to go. They didn't decide to go for the positions by themselves. Initially, the story that we are being told is that the people who are in government, the Mbadis, it's called the Oparanyas and all that, they negotiated for those positions because they felt that without Baba being on the ballot, it might be very, very difficult for them to continue fighting in the opposition against William Ruto, because one, they could not rally behind Kalonzo Musyoka. They could not rally behind any other opposition. And Baba, I think, was not going to vie in 2027. He had not shown any clear signs that he's interested in 2027 elections. And again, people would have dismissed him. So this guy thought very, very fast and said, okay, let us join government. And when we join government, they have revived their political lifeline. Now, suppose these guys were not in government to date, what do you think they will be doing? Yeah, what would they be doing each and every other weekend if they were not, or if Ruto decided not to accommodate them in the government? What would they be doing? They would be fighting Ruto's government. That is the answer.
So they will be fighting for Ruto's government, or they will be, or they were fighting
for the
of
government of the day.
Good governance and accountability.
Yeah, they would be fighting for all those issues that you have raised there. If these people were not in government, the Gladys Wanga, the Oburus, and all that, if they were not in government, they would be pushing for the 10-point agenda. All right, so that they are relevant, and they would be calling for even demonstrations because they are not in government. But now that they are in government, the people don't really matter. What matters is we are looking forward to in 2027. 2027 might already have been sealed, and William Ruto is probably going to win. But what do they want to do? They want to be part of that victory. They want part of, hawa ni watu wajawahi shika kikombe. Ni kama timu ya Arsenal. Unaona kama sisi vile tunangojea hiyo kikombe, bado mechi kama hata Gypsy Corner pale anajua tunangojea kikombe, yeye hawezi pata kikombe. Hawezi pata kikombe na hiyo Liverpool yake, yeye yuko huko chini. So sisi tunangojea kikombe. Unaona hiyo hamu tuko nayo na hiyo kikombe. Hata ule mtu alikuwa naye hata mwenye kikombe akikwambia hebu shika kidogo, huyo ni Ruto, hebu shika tu kikombe kidogo. Hai, unataka ukwamilie, unataka ukwamilie. So unasikia? So hii kikombe ni kama hii serikali kina Oburu wameshaishika, wameshaionja, wameshaonjeshwa tu. Wataki kutoka hapo bwana. Wanatoka wanaenda wapi?
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Before we come to that, I want just you to get your view. And Joseph, I hope you're doing fine. Today, these are the commitment that President William Ruto made, and I want to know your view. Ruto's commitments in honor of the late Ngeno. One of them, Kenya shillings of 750 allocated to establish Masai Mara University branch in Emurua, Dikirr. Kenya shillings of 20 million annually for the next 5 years to support MP Ng'eno's Artist Empowerment Initiative. Construction of Mogoto Songet Mogor Toibei Saint Road to begin in 2 weeks. Upgrade of 190 kilometers road, including Chebole, Emurua, Dikirr Road to begin. Fulfill all initiative and pledges MP Ng'eno had made to the constituents. Rename Shauri Moyo Housing Estate to Johana Ng'eno Housing Estate in honor of his immense input in affordable housing. That was the president saying. 12,000 acres forest evictees to be resettled between July and August this year. Fast track buying of 580-acre Chelugut family land for squatters to occupy. Purchase over 1,500 acres for resettlement of Angata Baragoi settlers. Completion of 12 markets. So all these are some of the pledges that President made. And one of the things here that is outstanding is about let me see, is about 20 million annually for the next 5 years to support MP Ng'eno's artist empowerment. Yeah, that is there. So, and all the pledges, pledge to support MP Ng'eno young family, all that the president did. And this is coming at a time when there are some challenges that we are facing at in education, especially. And now allocating Kenya shillings 750 for Masai Mara, which for education I'm not, but how are we going to actualize this? Remember, there was a time the president was in one of the churches in Nairobi, akasema kwamba this road will be tarmacked, and until today, remember when they declined to get his donation? Remember which, I don't know which year was that. How sure are we that all this, including all that the president has promised, will be actualized?
When some of these gestures that you see the president making, first of all, they are like roadside proclamations that more used to make. Right? And secondly, when you are at a funeral, you want to be seen as somebody who is uniting not only the family but the community in that particular area. So that is the time our politics, again, as I said, every other time our politics is transactional. I keep on repeating that word until everybody in Kenya will be talking about transactions in politics. So politics is transactional. So president is transacting a business with the community that name I can't even pronounce it, in Narok. I think constituency is in Narok, Narok County. So is transacting a political business. And again, these people have got expectation. The people in that particular region have got expectation. So the expectation is what the president is talking about. Whether he's going to implement them or not, it is up to the people and the leadership of that particular area to follow it up. And at the end of his term, when we are going for election, the president has to show us his report card in that particular area. That is how politics is done. So for me, I look at it as a development, yes, but coming at the wrong time, at the wrong place. And the promises, yes, it's good for the deceased family to feel that, hey, we are being compensated at least something, that we will remember the death of of our father, or the death of, I'll remember the death of my husband. The community will remember the death of Ngeno when institutions are named after him. When the developments come because of his name, the constituency will remember William Ruto on the ballot in 2027.
And if you look at the time frame from now until where the constituency or the people of that constituency will remember him on the ballot, bearing in mind that there are so many promises that president has made that has not, some of them have not taken off, you know.
I really, Ben, I really don't want to go that direction, because uh, if leadership is not, if you here on the podcast on YouTube is the one who is talking about the promises that the president has made and they have not been fulfilled, we are, and we are not at the constituency level. We expect the people in the constituency to come here and tell us, this is what this is what the president promised. This particular road, you can look at it; it has not been made. We do video, and we hope that he will make it. If he doesn't make it, I said that exam ni tarehe ngapi? Agasti, mwezi wa nane tarehe 20 na ngapi? 7 ama ni
Okay, so you tend to believe that all those should be questioned by the constituents, but we are also obligated as people who are in the podcast
we can
discuss and
only
look at the reality.
Then we can only ask this much, push this much. But if if your constituency are calm and are quiet, and they are not talking about these promises, they are not talking about the county funds being looted, then we can only be talking here to inform them that, hey, this is what you need to do. And that is what I've done. What I'm saying is that the president has promised you a road. You, as leaders of Emukuru, whatever that place is, Emukuria, I don't know.
Emurua Dikirr.
That thing is true. That thing is like a tongue twister. That name, but may Ngeno soul rest in peace. But that name, for sure, I am sure so many people didn't even know about that constituency.
No, people knew him because the guy was
No,
fighting.
people knew the guy. People knew the guy as a legislator, but they didn't know the constituency that he represents. Me, I knew the name of the constituency just the other day. So,
okay.
yeah. So
All right.
it's unfortunate, Ben. It's unfortunate that we are either so reluctant and agree with everything that the president is saying. For we in the social space, that is the social media, and the fourth estate, who are not doing a good job. You know, the mainstream media ought to follow up these things. Every other time the president is mentioning something, Citizen, KTN, why can't they do a follow-up? Have you ever seen them doing any follow-up of anything? They are not doing any follow-up. They are only reporting news. They don't do investigative journalism anymore. They kuja tu kama sisi tu. Sisi, we are unprofessional journalists. We just talk, but them, they are professional journalists, and then look at them. They, instead of doing their job, wametuweka hapa, sisi ndo tunawafanyia kazi.
Okay. But unajua, kwa sababu umeamua kufanya kazi hicho, sasa huwezi sema kwamba you are a professional because unauliza maswali tata. Okay, sawa sawa. Wacha tuachane na hapo. Let's come to Nairobi, and Nairobi is flooded from yesterday. Not from yesterday, but anytime that Kenya experience heavy rains, you will find that Nairobi has to deal with overflooding. And this one brings us to what we call the disaster management and how prepared are we, especially when such disaster strike. Do you think we usually learn as a country?
No, Ben, let me begin by saying that First of all, me, I've been a victim of floods each and every other time when there are floods in Nairobi like this.
Mm-hmm.
I get scared. I look up in my compound to see whether the water is coming into the house. So every rainy season, we see the same images on television and everywhere else. Flooded streets, business being destroyed, families forced out of their homes. Yeah, serikali kuja saidia. We see those images.
Mm-hmm.
And the question many Kenyans are asking are very, very simple. How can a capital city be so vulnerable to
Flooded.
something like water? How can it? But anyway, I don't want to blame Sakaja very much.
Mm.
There are some things that would take quite a while to implement, and it's not something that you can just wake up one day. It needs a lot of planning with the engineers again, redrawing, the map of Nairobi and seeing the buildings, how well is the drainage in the city, and at the end of the day, it all boils back to the same county government. They have a planning department. They are called city planners. They're the ones who come up with the buildings. They come up with the plan of the no, of the whole city. So when buildings are built on riparian land and things like that, then you get floodings. When we run to cheap labor, like in China, then we get roads in Thika roads that are flooded, or the one that is going to the airport that is impassable. When you go to South Sea, I saw the South Sea has always been like that. South Sea is not the first time. Even before the county government of Sakaja, South Sea area, when we used to have the mayor in Nairobi, South Sea area, that area, it's kind of submerged. It's kind of I don't know how to explain, but the way the South Sea was built, it's kind of I always see like it's how would I term it?
Mm.
Do you know a place that is
Is
uh,
it
I'm
is
missing
it
that word.
is it swampy?
The area could have been swampy, but it lies very low. Yeah, it's in a low kind of terrain. Then the other parts are raised. Yeah, the environs of South Sea. When you go to places where, do you know where Carnival is?
Yeah.
That area of Carnival. When you go now to Langata, you see from Langata up down. The water from Langata, from Gong Hills, Gong Hills, they drain all the way down to South Sea. That's what I'm talking about. You can imagine kutoka Langata huko juu, yeah?
Mm.
Kutoka huko Karen, hizo maji zinateremka zikienda chini pale Nyayo Stadium, zinaingia huko mpaka huko South Sea. South Sea, Nairobi West, those areas, they will always be flooded if they cannot tap that water and stop it at some point. That is the truth about Nairobi.
But
And
now that is the truth about Nairobi. But my question is, this is not something that we would say that it is new. This has always been happening, and you tend to ask ourselves even before Sakaja came, because we talked about it. We've had the county government since Kidero, then Sonko came, and now we have Sakaja. Does it mean that what is happening? These leaders are not aware of it, and two, how are they prepared, especially to deal with the disaster management?
you see, Ben, everything here boils down to corruption. uh, Everything that you see in terms of infrastructure is rapidly done in the city of Nairobi. inafanywa haraka haraka, plan inapeanwa, nyumba inajengwa without proper drainage system, without proper approval. And some of the demolitions that you see, government inabomoa nyumba kwa sababu iko kwa barabara, na hiyo barabara itakuwa na drainage system, and there are some offices within the county that are supposed to enforce some laws, which of course they are bribed and they don't enforce these laws. Na kwa ufupi, mvua Nairobi sio shida, maandalizi ndio shida. How to prepare. The meteorological department, unasikia, meteorological department of Nairobi, they know the projection of the rains that are coming, but how prepared are they for these rains? They don't. These parastatals do not talk to the county government, or the county government does not know the importance of the meteorological department, how it relates to it. They don't know that. So they need to know what the role of the meteorological department is. They need to know the weather that they expect in the next few months, and they can now start preparing. If it is the drainage system, they start clearing the drainage system. If it is mambo ya takataka, they start preparing that hizi takataka lazima zitolewe. Now, for example, Ben, New York City the other time, was hit by snow, very bad snow, about how many inches? 20 inches of snow. Hit New York. Now, what they have sat down and analyzed everything that happened on that particular day, and they have now come up, and there's a team that has come up and said that, hey, this, what we saw, we have never seen it before. They didn't even have the problem of the snow. What they had, the problem they had is how garbages can be collected during this kind of weather. Kuna snow na uko na takataka. Uko na takataka kwa nyumba, takataka zimejaa kila mahali, zitachukuliwa namna gani? So unapata they have to sit down and try and find measures of implementing of trying to curb the problem in future,
Okay.
So that's how it's done.
Okay, this is what happened again. A military rapid response unit was deployed overnight to assist with emergency operation after heavy flooding disturbed traffic in parts of Nairobi. So the military were there to assist on to deal with flooding in Nairobi, and I think they assisted. Okay. Mzalendo, let's come back to our point of discussion, and we can proceed to other forms of discussion. Today, Sifuna was at Uhuru Park, and he talked about the report that is supposed to be presented to the president or to the public, how it should be. And he was saying that the final, it means like no any other report shall come after that. Just in your own view, if the report will be released or if the report will be provided to the public and they give their own assessment, should the public agree with those assessments?
This is very, very simple. There were victims. Yeah. Those victims should be there when the report is being issued. They should be there. They should tell us, they should tell Kenyans that we got 2 million, we got 5 million, we got 1 million as compensation. That is the only way Kenyans will trust the report. Whatever other, by the way, I think this report, the most important part of that report is only one, the compensation of the victims of post-election violence. Hizi zingine zote is just political talk. So that can be implemented. That is something that is visible. That is something that every other Kenyan will see, that the president and the government of Kenya has done something to the victims. But hizi zingine zote ni kupayukwa tu.
Ni story za jaba.
Hizo ni jaba. We don't, at cost of living. Sasa cost of living, kuna vita Iraq. There is always an excuse about it. Kuna vita Iran sahi. Cost of living, bei ya mafuta itapanda kesho usiku na mchana. So that cannot be tied to William Ruto, that's how we cannot cooperate with you because of the cost of living. We always have an excuse about the cost of living.
All right, thank you so much. If you're watching us, we are streaming in 2 platforms. That is that is Afriq24 and Brother Benson Media. You can subscribe in both channels.
Well, if you're watching on Afriq platform and you've not subscribed, please like, share. I can see good year there. Good year, asante sana, good year. Thank you for the greetings. Nimezipokea. I always greet you with my heart all the time. Nikikuona mahali hata kama unisalimii, saa zile tunafurushwa, wewe pia ulipiga kura pia, uzalendo. Wacha tuache hiyo story, tutapiga siku ingine.
Okay.
Tuendelee Ben.
Okay, asante sana. I want to bring you, Orengo had an interview with one of the radio stations. And there are quite a number of things that Orengo spoke about. I don't know what would be your view, especially Orengo spoke about
which Brother Ben, which station was it?
It was in Spice.
Orengo's interview, Tell me about it.
So there are a few things that Orengo raised, especially during the conversation. One of them being the death of Raila Amolo Odinga, where Orengo believes that the Raila Odinga going to India, it was kind of like forced. Yeah, because you have issues there. Orengo also spoke about the imperial presidency, that we are kind of like having an imperial presidency. Do you agree with him on the issue of imperial presidency?
I agree with Orengo in many things. I admire this gentleman because one, without James Orengo, I'm trying to get for you the video. Without James Orengo, we would not be here having this kind of discussion.
Yeah,
you know that very well. That James Orengo really fought for this country, and sometimes people don't respect this guy a lot. He deserves a lot of respect, just like Raila Odinga. And he was there before Raila Odinga, remember. James Orengo was there before Raila Odinga. And that is what most of us tend not to remember. And they have done that by simply taking political sides. When James Orengo, I think I have it now. Do you? Can you play it? Are you seeing it?
You want to play the whole thing?
You play it, the whole thing.
This morning, and as we do, he is the governor of Siaya County, James Agri Orengo. Good morning.
Morning. Happy to be here.
Well, it's good to have you in the hot seat of the Situation Room.
Thank you.
It's been a long time coming, but we thank you for doing this today.
Thank you.
As is our tradition in this room, we go around the African continent every week.
Okay, All right. So it was a very elaborative, but one of the things that I really pick about that interview was about the death of Raila Amolo Odinga, and whereby Orengo suggesting it might not have been a natural death. He claims Raila was forced to go to India for treatment and taken to specific hospital links to questionable individuals. Do you think what Orengo is saying it's true, or it is just a daily political gimmicks that usually happens in the political world, or to get relevancy, or to seek attention? That is what some people are saying. Are you in that school of thought?
Brother Ben, I am not in that school of thought that Raila's death indeed shocked many people. I'm still, I still believe there is a foul play somewhere. There are so many ways nowadays to poison someone. Many ways. You heard of the Russian poisoning people with some I don't know, something from a frog in some country in Peru. They get it and then they put it on your food and then you die after some time. Nobody will know that you are poisoned with something like that. So these things do happen. So I cannot rule out anything, especially in a country like Kenya, where we've had political assassinations before. Maybe somebody was not happy with Raila Odinga. But again, I can also not rule out that maybe he had some complications and it was just a coincidence. Now, what worries me most is the death of his bodyguard. Yeah, the sequences of event that followed after Raila's death. Yes, thank you, Bernard, for doing that. The sequences that followed really it kept me thinking that maybe there is something that we don't know. Unanielewa? So I don't know whether it is me or I don't know. Wewe pengine uniambie what you think.
Mimi labda tu kwa sababu jambo ambalo Orengo alikuwa anasema kwamba labda inafaa uchunguzi ifanywe kwa sababu watu wajue, kwa sababu kulingana na Raila Odinga, the status of Raila Odinga requires, especially like if something like that happens, so a public inquiry should be, so that the public would know what really happened. But that is what Orengo also spoke about the constitution and the constitutionalism, whereby the constitution is like a paper that is not kind of like people do not, let's say, that obey or follow the law. For instance, he give an example of for example, talking about the Mbade, the CS, they are working in the executive, and they are required by law not to participate in politics, but you find them going above that and go into rallies and campaign. When do you think that one will change?
These are civil servants, huh?
Yes.
And every civil servant has got a code of conduct that they operate on.
Yes.
And one of the conducts is that as a civil servant, you need not to participate or be associated with any political party. That is why you find one of the requirements is you need to resign from your political party so that you can be hired as a civil servant or as a CS for that matter, or a PS, because of conflict of interest. While you are serving while you are serving and using our taxpayers' money, we don't expect you to propagate party agendas. All right. It is unlawful, but that law has always been broken by the same government leaders because one, they are playing loyalty. They are playing loyalty to the appointing authority, and that is the president and parliament. So there will always be that kind of conflict of interest. You saw in some papers the other time that one of the CSs is conducting a village meeting in his office with the clan members. That is a public office. You cannot invite your clan for a meeting in your office. That one you can do it in your village or in your house. Yeah. So some of these things are embarrassing. We need to call them out each and every time we see such things happening in government, and technocrats need to know their role. If they want to be in politics, they need to resign from the political seats and join the political arena and participate as politicians. And you support the candidate of your choice. People like Kinambadi and the rest, they should just quit because they love politics, come in politics and be part of the game.
All right. Thank you so much.
I see Gypsy Corner telling me, "Hey, you, can you put me back on the screen? I don't know why you."
Oh, okay. Let me see what is happening.
What do you mean?
Gypsy is complaining. All right. Okay, Mzalendo.
Now, yeah, Gypsy Corner has told me that the chemical is called Navichok agent. Now, this chemical is deadly. It's found in a frog. It's found in a frog. This chemical, Navichok. Let me let me try and check it out. Navichok, check it out. It's called Novichok agent. So this agent, when it's called the opposition leader for Russia died, they tested. They did an autopsy, and they found the agents of this poisonous frog in his system. So he was likely poisoned. There is another one called. There's another one they call it what? They call it what? They call it. Does it start with an S? Yeah, there's one that starts with Gypsy. You know it. There's one that starts with an S. I know it. I talk about it most of the time, but now I've forgotten the name. That one you unawekewa unakufa polepole tu.
Maisha ikiendelea.
Yani unafanya tu mambo yako, yani hata kuna mtu anajua yani ati wewe ni mgonjwa, because you'll do your stuff for 1 year 2 years.
2 years, yes.
Then 1 year 2 years ndio uanze kugonjeka. Inaitwa nitakumbuka jina yake ndakwambia.
Okay, asante sana. Mzalendo, I want you to weigh your thoughts on somebody who attempted to register the Linda Mwananchi, and there are some theories that were being discussed that could be Sifuna's and his allied fallback. So just in case if the thing doesn't work out, they will fall in that political party and use it as ODM, because like it kind of like mirrors those visions of the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the late Honorable Prime Minister. Somebody also was saying that that is kind of like a hostile takeover of that political party in a way to stop them or from using it, or it is somebody is registering that Linda Mwananchi as a way to do business with it. So what would be your take?
Well, number one, thank you for the good question. And I think I wrote this on my page just a few days ago. Sifuna, I will not address Sifuna as the Secretary General of ODM. Sifuna is the party leader of ODM. Sifuna, the party leader of ODM, and the presidential candidate for 2027, is the official presidential candidate for ODM for 2027. They don't have a candidate. Sifuna is our candidate for 2027.
How, Bwana?
What do you mean how? Is we the party members of ODM have decided that Sifuna is our candidate.
But how do you say that you've decided, yet we are seeing the
Just the same way the other group decided that the party leader is Oburu Odinga. We have decided that our party leader is Sifuna. And he's the party leader for ODM. He needs to start addressing himself like the party leader of ODM. And I'm telling you, this is so important because ODM has to go through that metamorphosis and break. Unaona kwa nini? Skiza. There are members in ODM that do not agree with this other faction, and almost half of it.
Yes.
All right?
Yeah.
They don't agree. Now, this Sifuna does not agree with the process of electing Oburu as the party leader.
Yes.
Oburu does not agree with Sifuna's stand as the Secretary General and his group. Now, Sifuna's group must conduct an NDC with people who are members of ODM. It doesn't matter. Delegates, the required delegates, whether they are fake or not, delegates from all over, and endorse Sifuna as the ODM flag bearer. Simple.
Do you think with the upcoming of NDC, Sifuna and
the NDC is a trap? And let me tell you why it is a trap. It is the NDC, the agendas you're seeing there, they will not probably be discussed. They want to make sure that they humiliate Babu Owino, they humiliate Edwin Sifuna when they attend that NDC. Now, they allowed them to attend this other meeting, but the NDC, they will not allow them to attend because they want that to be on the front headlines of the Nation newspaper and Standard.
Yeah.
That Sifuna alifurushwa nje akatupwa kama, and then we will all laugh on social media, and that will be the end of Sifuna. So he has to play very, very carefully with these ODM guys, with these ODM members who are broad-based members. They have to play very, very carefully. He has to be. He should not agree with them at all. That is the reason why Sifuna needs to be the party. He not even needs to be. Sifuna is the party leader of ODM right now.
So when you say that Sifuna needs to be the party leader of ODM, and you see the activity that is being operated by the Oburu Wanga factions, especially every time they have a meeting, especially they remind the viewers that, or the public, that is the real ODM. How will Sifuna then be the party leader?
Remember Raila Odinga, how he wanted to take over Ford from his father? It is the same thing. You take it off. You attempt to take it over. Not that they will give it to you without a fight. They will also fight, but we will fight in court. You are showing me the other time the Deputy Secretary General calling for an NDC. The Secretary General of the party does not have the powers to call for an NDC, and more so, the deputy, she doesn't. It is Sifuna who should call for those meetings. So whatever they will be calling, it will be illegal. It can be contested in court. Those are meetings which are so illegal. So,
do you think, if you think the other side of the coin, do you think the likes of James Orengo, Edwin Sifuna, and Babu Owino, they know very well what they are doing? Because from the look of things, you look at the leadership of ODM, including Oburu Odinga, including Mohammed, the Amdu Swamar, Simbarati, Ototsi, including Governor Gladys Wanga. All these members are acting. They are not. They've not been given the mandate. They're still like people who are in acting capacity.
No, this is the danger, and that is what Orengo is saying. We have had these coalitions and collaborations. And he gave a story when Raila collaborated with Moi. People said that Njogo ilimeza Tinga. Yeah, he gave that story. Raila then collaborated with Mwai Kibaki. When they collaborated with Mwai Kibaki, he also told us that story. They could not agree. They had to split their ways. They also collaborated with, I think they collaborated with Uhuru Kenyatta lately. They agreed on some things, but at the end of the day, Uhuru gave power to William Samoei Ruto. Now, whatever agreement that Gladys Wanga and group are going to have with William Ruto, there are two things that can happen. And let me ask you, how important is Gladys Wanga with their 2 million votes, and compared to Gachagua with 4.5 million and 5 million, and Ruto kicked him out? So it is just simple. You are pretending that you are the principal, unaenda una negotiate hapo, you bring your people in. Yes, ushawaleta. When after 2027, Ben, this is the reality. And maybe as I end, after 2027, this will be the numbers. And remember this, come back to Afriq24 for the numbers of Brother Benson Media here. ODM in 2027 will have less than 50 MPs in parliament. Less than 50 MPs. Wakikuwa now wengi ni 50.
There are also those who are...
Ni 45, sorry.
Yeah. There are also those who are speculating even like in Nairobi, ODM might lose to DCP. Is that one true?
This is how Nairobi politics is playing. Nairobi, the largest demography in Nairobi and the voting bloc. But the people, naysayers at home will say, oh, ati hata sisi tuko na Gen Z. Kuna Gen Z na youth. Nyinyi mko na watu wane, kina Umoshi wanao. Hizo ni youth, hao ndio mko nao. Sasa sikiza, Gen Z ni mtu wa aina hii. Wacha ni kuexplainie Gen Z. Gen Z, wale ulikuwa unaona kwa barabara ni wale madaktari, maloya, watu wanafanya kazi. Wengine ni watu wamemaliza chuo kikuu ama wamemaliza college ama wamemaliza form 4, lakini wanajijua. They know what they want. They know that they can stop corruption in government so that they can have good governance in their country called Kenya. They can stop some of these things. Na ile group ingine, they say that, okay, corruption is part of us. We can still continue with the corruption. So Nairobi, this is the largest voting bloc in Nairobi, will be the young people. That will be the largest voting bloc. And it is projected in 2027 that there will be over 10 million. Remember, there is rural-urban migration. Remember, there is also colleges in Nairobi.
Yes.
Institutions mingi sana. All those universities that we're seeing. Kina Babu Owino, Kina Sifuna, if they take their messages to the university students and all that, that is gone. That is why Babu becomes the most dangerous candidate for the gubernatorial race, and is going to win it asubuhi na mapema kwa sababu ya support ya hao vijana. Then the support for the community comes in. That is how Nairobi, and Nairobi traditionally it has been for the opposition. Nairobi, with all these issues that we are raising, sumazianza hapa. Wewe ukiambiwa hata hapa tukipiga tu poll hapa, wewe utapigia Sakaja kura. Can you vote for him? With the situation of Nairobi the way it is, kura ikipigwa tu saa hizi, nani watampigia kura? Hakuna. So Nairobi imeenda na the young people in urban centers, hii ni Nairobi, Nakuru, a bit of Eldoret, Kisumu, no, and no, a bit of Kisumu also, and then Mombasa. We are going to see a crop. If you are an MP, in the capital city of Nairobi, and you have been relying on your tribal block, nakwambia unaenda home. Because if you get a young man who is from your tribe and who can articulate issues better than you, and you have not developed that area, unaenda nyumbani. Na huko ako pande hii akina Babu Owino, unaenda nyumbani. Kina TJ Kajwang, hey boss, umeshapewa yellow card. Kina ule mwingine wa pale anaitwaje huyu wa Mathare North, yellow card. Aladwa Joji, best yangu sana na kupenda, lakini yellow card. Red inakuja. Kina Jalango, wewe mtu alipata kura.
Jalango si president amemwendorse to be the senator of Nairobi.
President kabila yake hata ifiki 150 Nairobi.
Okay, Mzalendo, thank you so much for your time this morning, and I know tomorrow if we find time we can come here and continue to discuss. This is Brother Benson, and if you're watching us in any of the channels, you can subscribe and follow us on our media platforms or social media platforms. Thank you so much, and may God bless you all. See you tomorrow, God willing.